documentation. Yes, if there is something I'm proud of this talk, I found definitely Untitled. Don't expect too much, there is no technical breakthrough in there, but I managed to find a decent solution to a problem I've met several times in the last few years. It works. It might prove helpful for a number of situations that you may have yourself. Well, I thought I would share this situation. That's the spirit of the conference. So let's go with that. So let's say our situation is you have a big web application. It can be complex workflow for authorization of text. It can be a complex data management process. You can have another situation that is different. You have one engine and you customize the style or some screens for a given customer. You have to provide an end user manual. Land user documentation. Well, I won't be discussing the API documentation and the technical documentation. This is end user human oriented. You also need maybe an internal documentation for users that happen to be developers. Say you build a system for years now, it's very complex, you have tons of people working on it, and you have people coming in and going out of the team, and you need to train for weeks before they become actually productive, the newcomers. Because you hire people for the technical skills, and they may not have, colleges don't have your internal business specifics. So even something that seems trivial for you, because you've been dealing with that for years, is tantalizing for it's crazy job for a newcomer. So if you want to provide step-by-step simple instructions, why not do it once and then have a way to keep them running and always to it. So that's the story. Stories, you know, my child, I'm also going to that. But that's the ticket that comes from user that has its requirement, that goes through the business analyst or the product owner, comes into the development team, moves on to QA, and moves on, and I'll be more specific on that, moves on then to technical writing, and stays for it describes your business value. So of course, stories should stick to the invest rules, so independent, negotiable, valuable, estimated, possible, testable. So stories is a long story in itself. So let's see one. Let's see one. So acceptance test is the key to behavior-driven development. So it's a way to formalize your stories so a bot can read them, consume them, run them, and make sure you actually have the feature you have been describing in your stories. It helps this entire business process. When I say documentation-oriented tests, they are usually smaller in scope, or very, very small in scope. So we're trying to achieve what we're doing today. Something like, include content like, okay, I want to create a new document into my business system, but it has some, it needs some different actions. So where something trivial, if you've been developing that yourself, it may be unclear in what order you should be, what value you should provide in different functions. Or how you drive your document through your workflow. So you want to document something very, very small. Okay, so that's exactly what we do. Write test. So a technical writer can use your test to write human readable documentation. You want, because a good picture is worth 1,000 words, you want decent screen capture of your application running. you probably want to annotate your screenshots with more information, so like step 1, click here, step 2, click there, step 3, validate this, step 4, click next. But all that in one screen, that will make very easy to follow step-by-step documentation. So we're going to do that slowly. This is supposed to be Steve's house in Minecraft. My kids insisted that this documentation, I have to say the word Minecraft, so that's it. Thank you. So that's more my period of time when I was building. So we try to collect a few bricks from the cheese shop to build our little house. It's more like a shed for the light, really, but this is completely oriented by my selection, for which then you can have different stuff. So we'll need a web application. For the sake of this token demonstration, I'll use DevFi. We'll give insight into DevFi because it's an interesting project. To write our functional tests, we'll use the Gherkin terminology. Well, they like the vegetable, obviously. It's a sort of cucumber, right? It's a way to write the test as unambiguous as possible. Then we'll need to run the actual test, so to make the bridge behind the ID and the human description of the actual running test. So for that we use behave. It's Python extension, it's still behave. We also want to make a number of assertions. Okay, is our feature implemented the way we expected? So for that, unpressed is, well, the tool of choice. So it's the only one. Then we want to drive and see the actual output. So for that, we'll use Selenium to drive the web application. To annotate on the screen, I found that Ninepatch did very convenient. It's technology that comes from the Android world. It's about resizing one single image and reshape it, keeping only one example of it. It's resized in Android. And finally, we'll write our documentation using REST text. We'll write about that. And REST to PDF is fantastic to let you deliver an end-user manual in PDF. I don't know for your users, but every user I've met so far, that's not PDF. Actually, if I had PDF, we would have started 10 minutes earlier. So DevFi. Quick word about DevFi. For the sake of the words and our web is almost irrelevant, but a quick word about it. You know the cheese shop, so you can install whatever. This looks up in ipy.python.org and we find these packages. DevFi, you can install it on your own machine. It will act as a proxy, so the package you use, more often you have a copy on it, so you can provision your virtual graph very quickly with no network access. And it's also a good repository if you work on in-house packages and you don't want the world to see, but you can share between developers and between build bots and lots of stuff. So it's completely compatible. It's LDAP enabled, which is good because everyone can sign. Every developer can have his own zone, and it's also compatible with bots. So what not? We do a peek at that because I have it here. So it looks like that. It's not very impressive. So I have my own personal zone here, and root there is the actual proxy to the official cheese software. Here I can go. That's the different project that we're working on. And repackage, so I put this then. So what I want to make sure is find myself. I don't have security. It's a bit of difference of orders. But, okay, do I have permission to upload into that repository? I want to make sure of that. That's what we try to assert, a very minimal assertion. From the home page, I want to click there on my own web host. Once I'm in my own web host, I want to make sure I have permission. That's it. So, quickly can define it also holds and builds your documentation if you want. Another story. So let's get back to our story. There. So here it is. No, it's not green, purple, and colorlines is not true. So Gherkin will split your stories in number of layers. So the higher layer is the feature. So feature is the one-liner that reminds what you want to achieve, your goal. Then the next layers here are completely innocent, and they are comments, but they are a reminder of your story. Because as what is my role, I want to achieve what, so that what is the business value I expect from what we do. When you write good stories, you will see that lots of time. So if you proxy from the actual users, you will receive that kind of stuff. Actually, this is wrong, so how much would be? I won't go into that. The core of the Gherkin and Cucumber is, okay, given I have some prerequisites, given I have a situation, when I do some action, something happens, then I can make a number of assertions of the new situation. It's dead, simple. All the examples are always proven, but we have another level of that. It's not always easy to write them that easy. But, okay, given when and then. So how do we run that? This is completely unrelated to Python so far. Cucumber you can use in every technology. It's across the board. We need to wire that into the Python. Right, so behave. Behave is the one Python implementation of the Gherkin and Cucumber language. So it uses decorators here, and they match the description I had before. Interesting, you can pass it parameters, they be passed as regex, regex. So I access the main page class. So here, what do we see? Okay, context, no. I go to the dev price level. And I set a context. We go back to the context, it's a very important concept in behave. It's something that is passed on every steps. So when I click my repository, okay, so then I have my driver here, I find my link using an next path, I click on it. Okay. Then I can make an assertion. This is coming from the app person. It will fail if the assertion is not true. So far, so good. It's simple code. It's easy to follow, easy to maintain. Actually, this is wrong. I want to run this code. So the context object. Lots to say about that. A BF run is not a unit test, yet it has some of the unit test ideas. Like setup and tear down, at a different layer, you can have a before each step, a before each scenario, a before each feature, and a before all, and then after. So here, before all, I set the context order to the web driver to use code. So you can have this white selection in there. At the end of everything, a key code. So the context is shared between every steps. So too bad I've lost my connection here, but I like just a word about ASCII Flow. ASCII Flow is a very neat website that lets you draw this kind of neat diagrams in seconds. It's fully ASCII, and what I like about it, it's that simple to use. You have like drawing tools, the arrows and everything, you can position things around, and then you can export. It will go into your clipboard, and that can go in any document. like a class docstring, a module docstring. So when you do and deal with some non-trivial stuff, a little diagram is worth 1,000 words, and this improves vastly your technical documentation. So just, in the forward, make a number of digression of the right pieces. So if you use it, it serves me well. So, do you want to have a workshop? Maybe. So I run just one, hopefully, so behave. That feature. The feature file, I'll show you if you wish, is exactly the cucumber description. And now, cross-finger, especially since I've been lucky in this time. Okay, it's run. Amazing. So this is the run report. It gives you back everything. The description, I don't know, can you read? It's maybe a bit small in that resolution. But actually executable. And surprisingly, 5 steps passed. So, okay, so far, so good. I can't feel like everything. Let's move on. Yeah, that was the case. I failed. So the command is that simple. If you just run behave, behave will sniff a features directory where you run the command and run the menu. What you can say, just run that code. Fair enough. So if you remember in the, I know it's a terrible thing to do, but here, we have this even, when, and then decorators. For the solution I've implemented is entirely based, or mostly based, let's say, around decorators. I think all that it's not a good idea to assume everyone here in the room is comfortable with decorators. So I'll make a small, hopefully quick enough digression about what a decorator is, so everyone can follow the next steps. Otherwise, that wouldn't make any sense. So let's take a function. I can't really think of a more dumb function. It takes one parameter and returns twice as much. Yet it has a docstring. Of course, if you have a function, it has a docstring. You can even build tools that will show if you don't. So if we print what is base function of 5, it tells you 10. More interesting is what is base function __ dot. If you don't know this, for any object in Python, this will give you its internal documentation. It tells you base function. What's your actual name? So that's totally okay. I'm base function. Okay, so far so good. We have a small function. Decorator is all about a function of functions. So it's a function that takes a function. So in math, we've done that in second grade, I guess. I won't even try to say that in English, but you can compose function. So here, print out is a function that takes a function. It defines a function, and we return a function. So it's a function about function. What it does, it calls, at some point, the function it has been passed as an argument, with the same argument it wants to replace, but what it will do is just print out something before. That means we can build a new codable that is function, the result of the function applied on our base function. So, no, like this. Number is 10 is the execution of this line, and then it outputs the expected result. But what's this documentation? It's replacement. So actually, when the result of this unexpectedly is the replacement itself. Is that clear so far? I know first time I've read this, it was sort of confusing before the next morning I said, of course. No. Maybe. So far so good. What it introduced is an easy concept to do something before or after or tweak the behavior of the other functions. It's widely used. So a simple notation in the Python world is instead of calling the function of the function to get to the function, they introduced a nice at decorator. This produces exactly the same response with the nice syntax. There is only a little bit, we can polish the details. We can wrap as from the functools library. We make sure, even if we replace the function, it will keep its original documentation. So if only you introduce a twist, you want to keep the original documentation. So now that you're confident that Decorator is a function of a function, we can go on. So here is the actual feature I was willing to run in the first place. So we still have the same story, but we have a few new things. So when I click my personal repository, then I have permission to upload package. So far, so good. We were up to there before. And I want to outline this element. And I want to annotate in, this is the southeast corner, with this explanation. Then I see my package list. And I want to outline this element, the package list, the last one we talked about. And I want to annotate that guy with something else. That is where we have a junction between an explanation and something that starts to look as a documentation. So the goal from this is when the test runs and hit the web app, at this stage you want to take a picture of it, then write nice labels with that context, and paste them over the backward. That's the goal. So, what's the implementation looks like? There is this new decorator. Outline, elements, context. I'll show you a big implementation of this. So far we have the assertion. The only difference is actually this function now returns something. So what we do is we collect the positions in the browser, in the actual screen of the elements of interest. And we store them for later use. Outline context, that is my decorator, so you recognize this blah blah wrapper. So what do we do here? The whole thing is standing in these few lines. What I do is, do I have outline elements in my context? Remember the context, the data that goes across every step, so I will just use that as a bag to store what I'm interested in. Do I have any? I don't. If I don't, create them. Then I execute the step. Because I'm a function of a function, I take the step that is executable in the first place. And I just add those new elements and I return them. Done. And last but not least, for this implementation is how do we take a screenshot? It's deceptively simple. I've added this screenshot context. And a step decorator with that should return an image. That is the screenshot of the commented. What we do here is we add the comments on the screenshot. You'll see it all falls into place in here. So I'm afraid you see that at the next slide. It's up the next slide a bit. So it's just context browser texting, then screenshot, path, and you have an image. All I do in here is I put that image into a Python image library, right? Pillow, yeah, or pillow if you wish. It's much easier to install, but basically the same. So from building board image, that's the one. And now we have this image, and we can do pretty much what we want with it. So what do we want to do with that? We want to articulate the sentence, the explanations. So we build, I won't go into all the code, I promise. There's already too much, and I know I reckon there is too much. But the point is, okay, I run my app, I collect the coordinates of the place of interest. I take a snapshot. Now I want to paste that in a better way. So I have the text, I will put the text in an image, and the image I will paste on the background that is the original screenshot. That's what is happening here, screenshot, paste, the image we built from the text. But where it becomes interesting is the Ninepatch. Listen, I will have a word about the Ninepatch. I had a few slides of Ninepatch, you might find that useful. So this is in case the real world thing doesn't work. Hopefully, if I am done with my class, we can maybe run it.
Nicolas.
Yes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. So, okay, I'll take the fast one. So the interesting technique about Ninepatch is take an image of small dimension and add a border, a black border, all around it. Say the right one and the bottom one will delineate where the text can fit it, and the top one and the left one will serve as markers on one part of the image you want to repeat when you distort the image. So hopefully, see here, the text fits into the bubble. But if I enlarge the bubble, all my corners are messy. So we define the top and left to say, okay, don't repeat what's not marked. And now all the corners keep their original look. So that way you can conveniently inject anything into a recyclable image. That's the way in your mobile phones you have your text. It's these techniques. So now, write your documentation. So this is a restricted text documentation, so some explanation, blah, blah, blah. You just have to, the run will actually dump and save the image on this, include them. Just want to have a note about that. This is, we'll allow this restricted text to be generated as PDF, so you can have more of this page break. And that's it, hopefully. You now just have to build a doc, either as a PDF or as HTML. And if you are lucky, I've built it. You know that. With this. Blah, blah, blah. Outline has done exactly that. Has stretched an image using Ninepatch and make it fit, so you can show what your intention is, and the other one is paste the bubble. So click your personal repository. Okay, remember the page break, so page 2, path. You got this. Make sure you have a good animation. So all in all, there is 25 lines of code. And having this consistently up to date with the latest release of your software or the latest design you have tweaked for one special customer is very convenient, and so far have been unlucky to find this on Google. So I came up with that. The project is not totally finished, but everyone is looking to be fine, and I will publish it on Google probably if you find this interesting. It's all the problem I've met on that. So, this is feel the pressure there. Yes, I'm not 2 minutes, is it?
It's another 5.
So that's it? So 4 minutes, yeah, I know we've lost some time with this stuff this time. So here we are.
Thank you.
So maybe,
Any questions? Put your hand up. Questions? Anyone? None? I missed you.
I missed the last. Thanks for a very useful talk. Are this project up online, or are we going to put it up online?
the previews, well, part of it is on GitHub. It's not wrapped in a decent package so far. I see this attendance. Okay, I'll do it next week. Any other questions?
And so what if you're running your tests on something that may not have a web browser? It's how would you take your screenshots on like a headless server or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good one, because of course I cheated this as a laptop, and it has an X server, or X server. Right. Then if you have a headless server, both things, Selenium can farm a number of endpoints, and you can run that on simultaneously on different versions to make sure it works. To produce your documentation, you need only one. The X virtual frame buffer will allow you to fool the software and think it has an actual screen, and you can make screenshots on a headless server.
Any other questions?
What is your GitHub profile?
The question is, what is your GitHub profile? And Laurance. Any other questions?
I'm a little curious about the last line. Writing good stories is another story. Has any recruiter thought of hiring English majors to write user stories, because they are not that requested in the job market like programmers, and it would be nice to have some English majors writing the user stories, so you have real stories in them.
Actually, this is interesting, because writing good stories is really difficult. It's really, really difficult. So I focus on the end of the life of the story, but make a good story at the start is really an amazingly hard exercise. But hopefully, if he's giving a talk about that tomorrow morning, so I just attend his talk and you'll know much more about how to write good stories in the first place. Any other questions? Well, thank you.